Vision drives decision. If you can create the vision for them, even better, if you can get them to tell you, how do you see this being implemented? Where do you see us going with this? When they're able to describe it like a movie playing in their head, they are bought in. They are absolutely bought in by doing that with Vision Drives Decision. And last, there's always, please remember this, there's always a team of deal killers on the other side. Who are they? That's the secret. We all of us, we all want to get to the decision maker. Yeah, you know what? This is his son. This is the guy, right? If I get to Tom, Tom's going to be able to be the one that can make this decision. Who did you bypass? The assistant, the CFO, the whomever. All those people that have influence with these people. Don't negate them. Continue at your own peril. Use your tactical empathy with every person that you're involved with. When you do that, they are going to help sell that for you.
I was going to add one thing. When I stood up, the blood left my brain, so what I was really wanting to say, I lost that train of thought in a moment. But we talk about label yourself. When you start getting triggered like that, label yourself. Why am I getting upset? Why am I getting angry? So when they're attacking you like that or showing you how wrong you are, and you start to feel like you're being triggered, you're starting to feel that trigger, label yourself and it'll diffuse it for you also. Okay?
What if you're not angry or upset? You just want to correct.
Yes.
They're saying something inaccurate.
Why do I want to correct? You're going to get your time. But why do I want to correct him right now? Why do I want to break his train of thought?
That's a label. I don't have to say it seems like I want to correct.
Labeling yourself.
Myself, tactical empathy. Is there a specific? I'm asking.
He's talking specifically about when you get triggered in the conversation. When somebody says something that makes you angry, instead of responding in anger, label yourself in that moment. Okay. Simon is making me mad right now. You don't say it to Simon, you're saying it to yourself. Why is that important? There's an abundant amount of scientific research that says self-labeling diffuses negatives within you just like it does the other person. They'll hook people up to fMRIs and they can actually see what's occurring in the brain. 20, 30 years ago, whenever it was, they couldn't see what was going on in the brain. And psychologists were guessing. Now neurosciences can actually record your brain activity. They hook these people up to fMRIs and they show them a horrific image. Let's say, for the sake of this discussion, a mutilated cat. And they'll show the participant in the study a picture of that mutilated cat, and they'll watch the brain activity, especially in the amygdala, and it's lighting up like a thunderstorm in the summer. And they'll say, "What are you feeling right now?" And as soon as that person says, disgusted, horrified, repulsed, the brain activity starts to diminish. That and staying curious. If I say something that triggers you, you shouldn't respond to that trigger in anger. You should respond with what? Curiosity.
So forget angry, forget upset. You're just talking with somebody.
Yes?
We had a conversation, whatever, and I've corrected you probably half a dozen times.
You thought you did,
I
yes?
thought I did, right? And that's my issue. Well, I wasn't angry at you at any given point, but hold on to it and just wait, but then you got this whole schizophrenia going on. Yeah, how do I bury that correct? That's right.
You want it right away.
Huh?
You want to make the correction right away so that don't.
There you go.
So if someone says 2 + 2 is 5.
That's not right.
And he wants to take that moment to correct them right away.
So is that what you were getting from me today?
Yeah,
2 + 2 is 5?
not from you. If you say, if you're in a negotiation and the other person says something incorrectly, 2 plus 2 is 5, and you have this insatiable desire to just correct them.
All right, so let's, we're going down a rabbit hole here, but
I'm not angry that they
what's,
said 2 plus 2 is 5.
hold on a second, hold on. What is the information that he's giving or she's giving you, is it incorrect deliberately or is it incorrect by mistake?
By mistake.
You don't know.
You don't know.
So what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
Why would you think that?
Not why. Not why.
I'm
We're
asking
gonna
you.
get into
That's
that.
what I'm asking. What are you
Oh,
supposed to do?
So what are you supposed to do is, well, you can't make a determination whether, are they screwing with me right now, or do they just not know? You can't figure that out. Stay curious and figure it out by asking label. Sounds like you have a reason for saying that 2 plus 2 equals 5.
So forgive me, if they just don't know, and you know they just don't know, and you have this insatiable desire to just correct them,
How do you know that they just don't know?
plus 2 does not equal 5.
Okay, how do you know that they just don't know that? If you go to a tribal jungle in Brazil, they're not going to be able to tell you that, or not Brazil, but in the Amazon, they're not going to be able to tell you that. So how do you know that they just don't know, or that or if they're screwing with you? You don't. The bottom line is, I want to find out. Okay. Curiosity, curiosity, curiosity. To your point, I'm going after the why. Why would they say that? Let's say they're supposed to know and they say 2 plus 2 is 5. What would cause them to do that? I want to know. Quick 2 plus 1, labels, mirrors, and dynamic silence. Why are we big proponents of these 3 skills? Because all 3 personality types that we've talked about ad nauseum right now prefer these skills. We've polled them all, and all 3 said, of all of the skills, these are the 3 that work the best with us. What we're doing with the Quick 2 plus 1 is we are taking what the other side gives us, we're repackaging it, and we're giving it back to them. We're convincing them with their own words, not our own words. As a result, you're always on safe ground because you're not making anything up out of whole cloth. It's not your judgment. Take what they give you, you repackage, and you give it right back to them. First of the Quick 2 plus 1 labels. These are verbal observations. It looks like, it seems like, it sounds like, it feels like. Not a lot of sexiness to this. This is a very easy, it's a very simple skill. We use it to identify driving forces and dynamics. It is neutral. If you want to sound more engaged or engaging, you flip that it to a you. You sound, you seem, you look. This is the box that we're going to put you in for today. We want to hear you say the label in this manner, in this structure. As Dennis said, labeling positives reinforces the positives. When you hear something that benefits your side, common goals, helpful dynamics, they tell you that I'm reaching out to you because you have provided a contemporary with quality products and services in a timely manner, and we're looking to find a supplier such as you that's going to keep us in business for the next 3 to 5 years. A positive label sounds like making a great long-term deal is important to you. This is a selfish move on your part. This has, of all of the skills, this has less to do with tactical empathy than anything else. Because it's for your benefit, it's not for them. Jeez. Labeling negatives diffuses them. Why is it so important for us to label negatives? Because negatives have 3 to 9 times the impact on thinking. Human nature response. Negative emotions and dynamics drive decision-making and drive behavior. What's going to be difficult for you, especially when we're talking about preemptive labels, is you're going to be afraid that you're going to introduce the label into their heads. You're going to say to yourself, I don't want to say to them that they probably think I'm being greedy, because if they weren't thinking that, as soon as I mention it, they're going to think that I'm being greedy. You cannot plant a negative with a label. If you could, half of you should have walked out already. Because I started our conversation this morning with a list of negative opinions, assumptions, and impressions that you may be harboring. And if you weren't thinking about those negatives, my mere mentioning of those negatives should have planted them in your head, which makes you silly because you're still sitting here. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't plant them. You cannot plant a negative by labeling it preemptively. What actually plants the negatives is when you try to deny. So, Catherine, if I say to you, hey, listen, Catherine, I don't want you to think I'm being a jerk. What is she bracing herself for? She knows that the next words out of my mouth are going to make me sound like a jerk, and I've already denied her. I've already denied that she should be thinking that. And it puts her on high alert. So instead of saying, I don't want you to think I'm being a jerk, how can I clean that up so that I'm not denying it? What do you think? No, you're still denying. You're saying, I hope. No different than I don't want. Say it again. Boom. Or if I want to go even harder at it, I'm going to say, you're going to think that I'm a jerk. 2 millimeter shift.
I'm a jerk. Yes, to this level. I'm a jerk. You're going to think I'm a jerk. You're probably going to think I'm a jerk.
Yes, there are levels. To your point, there are levels. If you know it to be accurate, boom, go right at it.